Today we're going to start working on solving two-step equations. Now we're just going to jump right in because we already have done one-step equations, so this is just adding an additional step at this point. So again, I'm going to put my example down the left side of the page, and on the right side I will write the steps. So our first example is 6 plus 2m equals 18. All right, we know that step one, we need to move the value first. We can't do anything with that m to isolate it until we move that value that stands alone, that constant. So I'm going to put a box around my m. My goal is to isolate that m by itself in order to solve. So step one, I'm going to move the value by adding the inverse to both sides. So I'm going to put my balance line down here. I'm going to put my dotted line, that's my balance line. That's going to help me see that whatever I do to one side of that equal sign, I have to do the same to the other. So I need to move that constant first. So since 6 is positive, I'm going to add a negative 6 to both sides. Now remember, you're always adding an opposite. So that's going to cancel. What am I left with? 2m. What is 18 plus negative 6? And that would be 12. Now, step 2, we are going to eliminate the coefficient. And how do we eliminate the coefficient? By dividing. So divide by 2, divide by 2. M equals 6. So now the last step here is to check. So if I have 6 plus 2m equals 18. 6 plus 2, now I'm going to substitute my 6 in for m, equals 18. 6 plus 12 equals 18. 18 equals 18. Check. All right. Okay, let's do example 2. N over 6 minus 4 equals 7. So the first thing I would do here is to get rid of that subtraction. So I'm going to rewrite it as keep my first term, change subtraction to addition, and change positive 4 to negative 4. Okay, step 1 again is to move the value. By adding its inverse. Remember, inverse and opposite are interchangeable words to both sides. So here, I'm going to put my balance line in. I have a negative 4. I can't do anything here with my division until I get rid of that constant. So since that's a negative 4, the opposite of that would be a positive 4. So I'm going to add 4 to both sides. And you need to be writing it just like this to line it up so you can follow your process in your head. This is now going to come down. N over 6 equals 7 plus 4, which is 11. Now we did this in our one-step equations. Since this is a division problem, we are going to multiply, sorry about that, both sides by the denominator. So here my denominator is 6. So I need to multiply both sides by 6. Those cancel. So n is equal to 66. So let's see if that works. So let's do our check. So I would take n over 6 plus -4 equals 7. My n is 66. So I would say 66 over 6 plus -4 equals 7. 66 divided by 6 is 11. 11 plus -4 equals 7. 7 equals 7. All right. So the first problem we did, we just added or subtracted. We added a negative to both sides, and then we divided in order to solve. In the second example, we added a positive to both sides, and then because we had a fraction, every time you see a fraction, you know that inverse operation has to be multiplication. So then we multiplied by the denominator. Now that problem with the fraction, we may also see it written like this. So this is your example 3. N minus 4 over 6 is equal to 7. Now notice the difference between the two, the way that they are set up. The first one that we had here, n over 6. N was all by itself over the 6 for the denominator. Now, the n minus 4 is an expression. So now our first step, n minus 4 is an expression. So you need to eliminate the denominator first. All right, so in the other problem, we moved that -4 by adding its opposite. But since n minus 4 is part of an expression now, then you need to eliminate the denominator first. So that the first thing I want to do is rewrite this with plus -4 over 6 equals 7. Now the first thing I need to do, I need to isolate this n. I just can't take that -4 and add it to the other side because it's part of a numerator. It's an expression as part of a numerator. In the previous example, n was all by itself, so it was okay to move the 4 first. Here, we're going to multiply by 6 first. We're going to multiply to eliminate that denominator first. Now I'm left with n plus -4 equals 42. Now I can add a +4 to both sides. Add the value to both sides, which is the opposite. So this becomes n equals 42 plus 4 is 46. Now the previous example, our answer was 66. Now it's 46. So to check this, I would take n plus -4 over 6 equals 7. N is 46. So 46 plus -4 over 6 equals 7. 46 plus -4 is going to give me 42 over 6 equals 7. Divide 42 and 6 and you're going to get 7 equals 7. Okay?